Barry, don't burn it!
Oh, hey.
A little piping bag.
Here's some blobs of liquids that you've never heard of. Swipe. What's that?
That's like adult syrup sponge.
I think that's wonderful.
This is the award-winning Simon Rogan Home Meal Kit, voted the best Michelin-starred at-home experience by Kitchen House. Simon Rogan is a multi-award-winning, multi-Michelin-starred chef, considered one of the leading current culinary heavyweights in the UK. His flagship restaurant, L'Enclume, was named the Good Food Guide's best restaurant in Britain, beating Heston's Fat Duck and restaurant Gordon Ramsay, and tasting menus there cost upwards of £250 per person. But what we want to know is, can we experience that same quality for a fraction of the price at home? Boys, you've got your kit. Let's get cracking.
Should we get in?
Again, I adore a restaurant kit, but never one this special.
So fancy. Lots of excellent reading material.
Ebbers has got a poster for his wall.
I think it is, yeah. Latest news and all the bits and pieces.
I've got all the instructions, and there aren't too many, which is comforting.
Yeah.
It's also a QR code.
This is the seasonal February 3-course meal, because it's February. Every month it changes. Simon Rogan has a farm. 90% of the produce used in L'Enclume is from that farm. And your meal today will be sourdough and whipped butter, celeriac velouté, parsley oil and crispy fruit cracker, stuffed guinea hen, confit and pickled carrots with farm kale, spiced cake, citrus jam, toasted almond and infused honey cream for dessert.
Fab.
What a menu. First part, bread and butter. Simple as, remove the butter from fridge 60 minutes before beginning the preparation and pre-oven to 180. Bung it in the oven for 5 minutes.
Straight off, what's interesting is this is a meal for two that we've ordered, but each box is like an individual portion.
Yes.
It's almost like the Carno set.
What was really interesting about building the order on the website, they do portions for one. So you can order from 1 up to 12 portions of this kit, and you can customize each thing, whether it be vegetarian, nut allergies, gluten-free options. So we've ordered you a full carnivore and a vegetarian option as well, so you should have 2 mains there.
This is a restaurant that I really want to go to, but in my current life stage, I can't. It's quite a commitment to go up there to experience that. The fact I can have that in my home.
Well, that's the question, can we?
A taste of.
I'm really interested to see just whether this meets the expectation, because there's so much gravitas attached to the reputation of Simon Rogan.
And straight off, while our bread warms, winter tarn butter and Maldon salt. So they're very much leaning into produce and the sourcing of. They're naming, and as soon as you get a name of a farm or a dairy or a producer on a menu, you know they're proud about it.
Yeah. What's next?
Celeriac velouté and a crispy fruit cracker.
Are you going to read it or are you going to watch it? Which would you prefer to do?
I think we should read it. They're sparing on the ingredients. You know you're in fine dining territory when it comes like that.
Why? How much more do you want?
Remove the parsley oil from the fridge. Oh, this is all about timing. Again, they're very specific on the timing of when you get things out of the fridge. So they come to room temperature and they're ready to cook with. Remove the parsley oil from the fridge 30 minutes before you begin.
Or put it in your pocket to warm up.
Oh dear. Bring a medium saucepan of water to a simmer and preheat your oven to 180.
I'll do that.
So Simon's restaurant L'Enclume, it's in Cumbria, opened in 2002. 3 Michelin stars.
Maximum number of AA rosettes, so you can get 5, I think.
5 at the top, yep.
Plus a sustainability award. Like, it is top of its game.
It is also a life's work.
Yeah.
It's very easy, it's not very easy, but it's very easy to forget that 3 Michelin stars is fantastic, but the restaurant's been open over 20 years. So it's like that is how long, dedicating 2 decades of your life to get and now to maintain those 3 stars.
And when it comes to how that experience at the restaurant translates to something at home, I imagine there's 2 massive pressure points there. One is, from the customer's perspective, how good can it be at home compared to the restaurant? But also, from like Simon Rogan and the team's perspective of
reputationally.
Exactly, we've spent 20 years building this reputation. It has to deliver. Now, the reason that we've put a chef and a home cook into the kitchen at the same time is because we want those 2 different perspectives. Ben, as a chef, hopefully is going to be able to explain to us some of the processes that must have happened in the kitchen.
Yeah, give us some insight into why this is prepped in its particular way.
Whereas Barry is going to give us the perfect example of can you cook it at home?
Barry,
don't burn it!
Golden brown.
That's golden brown. It's ready, apparently. He's really specific on how it's going to be plated.
Yeah, so that was another thing that I thought looked interesting about this, was the fact that they tell you how to plate it, which is great, because if you're going through all of this effort, you want it to look as good. So Baz, what are the instructions?
So you take your 3 pieces of celeriac, place them in the middle of your plate, then add a piece of fruit bread onto each.
So what you've got is your boil in the bag soup, which you decant into a little jug, and then you put in your parsley oil into here, and then at the table you pour it over your finished dish.
Nice.
Now, we are quite lucky here in the sense that we have lots of lovely things like this because we have propped all sorts of food for years and years and years, and lots of lovely plates. But I do think this kind of food needs beautiful crockery to bring it to life. If you're at home, I think a lot of people would probably just boil in the bag straight over that and then drizzle the parsley oil, because essentially now you've got this experience at the table, which is lovely, but I don't know if everyone has really small little jugs to be able to accommodate that.
Oh, well done, Baz.
And then at the table, this beautiful velouté.
Tell you what, lads.
It's good, isn't it?
I mean, it looks good. So that's one portion of the starter. 2 glasses of wine, love it.
Homemade warm sourdough and their local butter.
Oh, wow.
There we go, that's what we're waiting for. All this moaning and then oh wow. Celeriac velouté, heavy on dairy. Absolutely delicious.
What I'm used to from restaurant kits are big, bold flavours I wouldn't dare do at home. This is the opposite of that. These are incredibly delicate flavours that no matter how much I practice would be nearly impossible for me to achieve and put together.
They're refined, but I think that is also because they're leaning into what is British and seasonal.
Wow.
So it's not going to be spice blends from all around the world. What it is actually is just celebrating celeriac, parsley and bread.
Hey boys, leave some.
Right.
Try it.
The only thing there that doesn't feel fine dining is the fruit bread. That feels a little bit naughty, a bit more normal on the plate, but it does add the sweetness it needs.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I have no idea how I'd get anything like that.
No, it's true. Lovely colour
Isn't it?
on the celeriac, Baz.
Celeriac, thank you very much. You'd think I made a fuss over a starter. Here comes the main.
Have you ever cooked guinea hen before?
No.
Would you like to try?
I'd like to watch him try.
I'd like to watch him try.
I'll do the carrot. Barry has got stuffed guinea hen, confit and pickled carrots and kale. I've got braised carrot, pickled maitake, toasted pine and kale.
I've got the same things to the first round. Saucepan, oil, hot water, bubbling.
Okay.
So, it's already there. Oh, hey.
Oh,
A little piping bag.
That I think we share.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's the guinea hen, and that's the confit leg.
We are doing a meat and a veggie option here, but I'm actually going to cook them both in the same pan because otherwise we're just doubling washing up. We're not actually meaty and veggie here, so I don't think it makes too difference for us. I feel a little bit hard done by that he's got guinea hen and I've got carrot. I feel like they're not on par at a value level. Now, they probably have had similar effort put into it. Again, this has been already perfectly cooked, grown just down the road. I don't doubt it's delicious, but guinea hen versus carrot.
For the same price.
But otherwise, liquids are going in here.
So it's a lot of gentle warming liquids.
All the hard work's been done. It does actually say that the sauce can be put in a pan to bring to a simmer. We probably have some small pans, but you're not adding anything to it. You're just heating it up in a pan and then pouring it over. So
Yeah.
And then putting my confit leg and bacon in there. Again, this is just a one tray bake essentially, but I'm browning off my guinea fowl before it goes into here.
Ah,
Interesting.
while you're doing that, I'm adding my pickled mushroom and pine kernel and pickled carrots into a pan to warm through.
What I've done with my guinea fowl, they've made it look like one massive breast. I know guinea fowls aren't that big, so it's just
stuffed.
very well stuffed with a sage mousse, it says here.
Oh, hey. Interestingly, while you've got guinea hen, which is a form of fowl, I've got chicken of the woods, which is a mushroom, but it is called chicken of the woods and apparently has a similar texture. And if you see it clinging to the side of a tree, it looks a bit like this.
They're not going to put anything on.
It's delicious. Now I'm going to send you a photo of when I found chicken in the woods.
Don't do it.
We're not going
And
to
it's
put anything
beautiful.
over that.
It's a beautiful mushroom.
It looks like this.
Then that goes into the oven for 8 minutes.
Now, Evans, I know that there's not much information about the processes that all of the ingredients have already been through, but can you sort of tell from a chefy perspective why you're only having to cook things for like a couple of minutes?
Well, an example, this pan has already been pickled and all the hard work's been done for you. The guinea fowl in particular, already cooked through, shaped into that form, and you're just colouring and then reheating through.
Now adding in the kales into the same pan the guinea fowl's cooked in, with a pinch of salt.
Malden, keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Place the braised carrot into the centre of your plate. Arrange the pickled hen of the wood and pickled carrot to the right of the braised carrot. Add the kales on top of the pickled hen of the wood, pine nuts and pickled carrot. Make a small cut at the end of the carrot puree piping bag and pipe small dots over and around the kales. Finish the dish by pouring the sauce at the table.
This goes to the left, then our confit and bacon mix.
Yes, Baz. Yes!
I'm not complaining, but they have given us too much food. I've got carrot puree left over, so you just...
Oh, Barry.
Right, Bugs Bunny.
They're so hot. Oh, delicious. So,
Ebbers, I love the fact that you've provided your own wine pairing. This is great.
Yeah, I've gone for a Pinot Noir from Sancerre because both dishes are not quite beefy heavy reds, but a lighter red option I think would work quite nicely with guinea hen and your mousse and my carrot.
Visually, what do you think, lads?
It's inviting. It's actually, considering this is the Feb menu, it feels very spring-like. Carrots, the vibrancy of greenery, albeit a winter veg like kale, hen of the woods.
it's a tricky one, because from a distance you would say that looks like a breast of chicken and simple veg on the side. But I think it's all about the taste.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
So what was that face about?
Both faces went.
You know, when you look at it, I was kind of expecting chicken and gravy. But this sauce is so umami, so rich and salty, it just transforms that guinea fowl. I've not got much mousse. It's like a Christmas stuffing, onion and sage stuffing, but more refined.
When I poured my vegetarian sauce over my carrot, again looking at the comparison to yours, Baz, which had a real sort of viscosity and gloss to it, I thought mine was a bit thin and washy until you taste it, and it just packs. I mean, I'm guessing lots of mushroom, almost soy kind of umami, like fermented umami. It's really good. I think the guinea hen portion you would feel more full as opposed to having eaten just a carrot, but the value here comes from perhaps more expensive mushrooms, so the maitake mushrooms and the pine kernels, as opposed to on Barry's side, just the carrot and the kale, which I also have.
Can I be deadly honest?
Yeah?
It doesn't feel like a Michelin Star meal. Feels like a very humble, incredibly well put together main meal with incredible meats and vegetables.
I would counter that with, when was the last time you went to a 3 Michelin star restaurant? What are your expectations?
I'd expect more than this, Evan.
For me, I think it's why on earth are you going to this place in the first place? Because if you're going to leave full, you're going to the wrong place. For me, it is about an experience. It's about tasting things you couldn't and wouldn't taste at home.
Yeah.
And somebody else is doing it, and you know that they've spent, well, in the case of carrots, they've spent 9 months leading up to that plate.
I think that's wonderful.
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely delicious and I love it. I think it's brilliant. For me, in concept, I've made that dish at home. In terms of protein, veg, and a sauce.
Gravy.
The gravy. But what it's done, it's elevated it to a place that I could never in a million years achieve myself. It's not what I expected from a Michelin Star restaurant in my head. It's a lot more humble.
And I think also, you know, you're quite a competent home cook. You can probably do a pretty good chicken roast dinner, but you wouldn't try guinea hen at home. You certainly couldn't do it in 12 minutes. It wouldn't taste that good, and you wouldn't have had that kind of whole experience of throwing it together, having already enjoyed a starter and looking forward to dessert.
Whoa! That is sweet and salty.
So 2 pickled elements, but then you've got the carrot puree, like the celeriac veloute, as smooth as anything, and a carrot which has that perfect bite. It's not mushy, it's not crunchy.
Completely different experience eating this. What's interesting is the flavour profile of the vegetarian dish is 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
It's all about pickle, it's all about sweet and salty.
And it's not till you taste it you get that, because on first inspection, swapping a carrot for guinea hen, I was a bit hard done by, but it tastes brilliant.
I guess that's the farm to fork, the prepping of those simple ingredients, but trying to perfect them. I guess that is what they're going for. It's not, here's some blobs of liquids and stuff that you've never heard of, swipe, what's that? It's a different sort of more experimental style of Michelin star, isn't it? I think maybe for me the transformational moment came with the vegetarian dish where, like you, I looked at it and went, I can pretty much guess how this is going to taste. Boom. Whoa! And there was a bit of a
jump.
Yeah, a jump.
Should we do dessert? Please.
Yes, please.
So as long as dessert has been out of the fridge for half an hour, there's no cooking, it's just plating. So it's a citrus jam on the bottom, then a honey cake, then a honey mousse, then toasted flakes of almonds, and it's finished with sorrel syrup.
This one's really calling me.
Again, citrus, time of year for citrus, not grown on the farm, but it's definitely a citrus season. Honey from the farm and sorrel, absolutely.
The sorrel syrup, I'm excited by.
Yeah, that's...
I don't understand it.
Cheers. That's like adult syrup sponge.
Oh.
That's the most sophisticated, delicious treacle sponge I've ever had in terms of there's so many more dimensions because of the fruity marmalade and that sorrel syrup.
Which is savoury.
A bit like the last dish, it's incredibly comforting and familiar, yet completely new.
Boys, try that. It's also one of those desserts that reads really well. It's the kind of dessert that if there was an a la carte and you were choosing from 6 or so, it's the one I'd go for because it's quite, although it's very sweet, very clean, and it's not too heavy.
Oh man, that is good.
Unlike a lot of desserts, there are finishing notes, like I can still smell it, I can still taste it. It doesn't go.
The honey's sublime.
Sorrel doesn't taste herby at all. It tastes citrusy. It tastes...
Botanical.
Yeah.
It's very botanical.
Have a spoonful
Yeah,
of
please.
sorrel.
Sorrel in advance.
Savoury, herbal, botanical, vegetal.
But grassy.
Grassy, herbal is the right word.
Yeah, herb, yeah.
This has been very interesting because I think I started at one place, I've ended up at a different place, but I've had a lovely time in the process.
Really nice time.
It couldn't be easier to make Michelin star food at home by doing it this way.
If you're buying into Simon Rogan and that style of cuisine at that level, you get a taste of that right through the courses, from kind of sorrel and citrus through to the kind of the carrot and kale and the mushrooms, right the way down to the celeriac. It is a taste of February in the UK that's effortless. But obviously Michelin stars are given for the entire experience, from the crockery to the plating to the serving to the wine list to the temperature that the restaurant's in, and a lot of that is removed and distilled down to just 3 plates of food and a bread roll. So it's a real challenge to hit that. I think it does. I think it's really good.
I'm nervous of how much this cost.
So this kit, per person,
Yep.
£45. So we paid £90 for the 2 portions here.
It is a lot of money for a DIY kit at home, but for what you're getting, it's familiar food that you've never experienced before.
For me, you can't go out and have 3 courses at non-Michelin level in London for less than that.
No.
So the fact that you get 3 Michelin and the Simon Rogan brand delivered to your door and that convenience for that, I think it's good.
Obviously the meal is the £45. You can add a cheese board. You can add a cheese board with port. You can add
Truffles.
You can add a wine pairing, aperitifs of gin and tonic. You can add a local whiskey. Like, you could go and spend double that per person or more if you wanted to enhance that experience.
But still only 20% of the cost of if you were to go and have it there as a full tasting menu, which obviously is many more courses.
I don't think I ever expected it to, but it hasn't made me go, oh yeah, Simon Rogan, tick that box. Absolutely not. It's gone, that tasted great. Now I want the actual full experience.
Because there is the fear, he could have cannibalised his restaurant bookings by creating an at-home experience that means that you go, I don't need to go now, I'm done. But whereas what that has done is given you a taste of it.
That is an aperitif.
What you've got to realise is this is several hundred miles away, so it just makes a taste of that restaurant accessible nationwide.
Well, you've heard our thoughts about the Simon Rogan home meal kit. If you want to see us review other meal kits, click the playlist in around here somewhere. It's going to pop up somewhere.